If you're in the comments with me, say hello. I'd love to see what your progress is for your quiz. Another thing that I'd love to know throughout this whole process is, are you guys finding this information helpful? Am I missing anything? And for any future trainings like this, what information do you want to know or do you want to see? Let's see. I want to make sure I have my notes ready so that way I can give you guys the information. So far, we've gone through prepping your quiz funnel, and we started out on our quiz with our personalities and figuring out what those are. We went through cover page, so your title and tagline should be ready to go. And then we went through questions, and we talked a little bit about 5 types of questions that you should include in your quiz. There are more out there, but hopefully that was really helpful in figuring out what your questions should be. And then I went over some tech support in my video yesterday, which is pretty much just where you can find the information you need to find and how you can get in contact with us. Today, we're going to go back into the quiz, so I will have my screen shared with you again. And for today, we're going to be talking about the opt-in form, which is such a small detail, but actually, again, really important and a really big thing to include in your quiz. And it's kind of a make or break when people get to that point because they could either opt in or they could drop off right there. So what I mean by drop off is they'll take the quiz, get to your opt-in form, and then they'll exit out. They won't give you their email and they won't subscribe, which is not the goal that we want. We want people in our email list. So this is a major drop off point. It is like such a small thing, but I'm going to give you guys some tips and tricks on how to optimize that form so that way it is good to go. I think there were a couple questions on this, so it will tie into today's episode. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and then I'm going to pop open the quiz that we've been using. Here we go. It was entrepreneurial archetype. So something that I do want to point out when you do get to your opt-in form, whether, of course, you are starting in a template or from scratch, we will have pre-populated text in there, so let me back up a little bit. Now that you're in the builder, you will want to click this on. It'll open that page for you. But we will have pre-populated text, which is this very generic, enter your email to see your results. We'll send you fun and infrequent updates. So I'm going to go over this, but you will see it already in there, so just a heads up about that. So opt-in form. This is the part where people subscribe to your email list from your quiz. This is an option on our paid plan, so starting on the light plan. If you guys have questions on our plans, feel free to ask me. And for this, you will need to be on a paid plan or in a free trial to start using it. So if you don't see this page, what you will probably see is it'll ask you to upgrade, but that's why I'm going into the builder during this lesson so you guys can see what it looks like before you jump in and go on a paid plan. So for our opt-in form, when you click lead generation, you're going to turn it on. It's going to start you off on this page. This is formatting what that opt-in form looks like when people get to that point. So this first section right here, select contact fields, that's the information that you're going to collect from people. We do have options. It's going to automatically include email address. You can't turn that one off. I always recommend keeping this part as simple as possible because it is such a major drop-off point. Usually I say stick to first name and email if that works for you, or just name, first name, last name, and email. If it's really necessary to do company name, phone number, and zip code, then of course add it. However, the simpler it is, the better. I think too, some people tend to get scared when it starts to ask for more information just because they're like, I'm not entirely sure where this is going. But you also have the option to add new fields in here. If those don't work for you, you type the field name, click save, and then it will show up on your opt-in form. So in this page, if we scroll down, once we figure out what fields we want to collect, it's going to have some form settings, which Definitely pay attention to this, especially if you are thinking about making sure that you follow privacy laws. We can't legally advise on how to use this. However, I always recommend checking in with your local laws for privacy, and then also if you're able to check in with a lawyer and get advice from them. But we do offer the option to be compliant with privacy laws. So to do that, one of the big ones that you guys probably hear a lot is GDPR compliance. And this is when we turn this on, what it's going to do is it's going to include a skip this step button. And what that means is people can get to your form. If they decide they do not want to opt in, they can skip this step and still get their result. I'm going to go over that in a little bit because I do have some tips and tricks on it. But that is what that part is. You can also display a link to your privacy policy where you would paste that into here, and it will show up at the bottom for them to be able to click on it so they can check out your privacy policy. I think I've seen people type it in here. I don't recommend doing that. I recommend linking to your privacy policy so they can check that out. You can also enable GDPR compliant consent checkbox in your opt-in form. When I turn this on, it's going to show up like this here. When you click on that, you can type in what you want that consent to be. As I mentioned, I can't advise on what this should say. I recommend checking in with your local laws, and then also if you can with a lawyer to make sure that this is correct. The idea with it is once people turn this on, then they have to, they would fill out their first name, their email. They have to click that checkbox in order to click see my results. They won't be able to move forward without it. But that option is in there for you. Another thing to note, if you're looking at this and you're like, I automatically want to enable GDPR, it will automatically include that skip button because it's required for compliance. So I'm going to go ahead and turn those off. We do have some advanced settings in here, which looks like some error messages. I don't have any info on how to use this, or if you should. Like I said, for any of these, I recommend checking in with a lawyer. So for the skip button, I really wanted to highlight that just because it is a question that comes up a lot. Should I include skip? Should I not include skip? It's a big question. So for this, we have stuck to putting it in there as a recommendation because it does help people feel more comfortable putting in their information. They feel less pressured to do so. It also still allows them to get the value out of your quiz, and they're still going to go to your results pages where you can still have a CTA and lead them back to your website. In the past year or so, I've kind of changed my view on this a little bit, mostly because I think that if people are going to opt in, they would always opt in or they would have never opted in. It is also a good way to eliminate getting those fake leads because if they're forced to opt in but they want to still see their result, they might put in a fake name and email so that way they can still see their results. So those are just some things to weigh out and think about when you are considering putting a skip button in there or not. The nice thing is this is just a checkbox for you to turn on and off if you're not enabling the GDPR consent box, so you can always test it out. So I usually recommend to people to either include it or not include it, send it out, not send it out, but publish your quiz, get it out there, and test it out for some time and see, are people skipping more than they're opting in? Or if you didn't include it, do I see a lot of drop-offs at this point? And where are they actually going into? Are they still interested? Test it out. Test. I can't say it enough to make sure that you're tailoring this to your audience, because at the same time, everyone's audience is different, and also depending on what your niche is, who you're serving, and what your business is, it really just depends. So always test it out. If anybody ever asks me this question, I say that same thing just because I can't actually say whether or not skip's going to work or not, or if you don't include it, if it's going to work or not. So once we do figure that part out on, what settings we want for our opt-in form, we're going to scroll down here and you can see a preview of the opt-in. Like I said, it's going to pre-populate this text. If you do click into this, you can edit it. So this is able to be typed into, added, you can remove, you can delete it however you want. You can also edit the text of see your results. So some people might say like, take me to my archetype, or take me to my, desired flower, something like that. I don't know. I just came up with that. You can change that up to make it a little bit more fun. You can change the size of this if you want it to show a little bit smaller or bigger, though I don't always recommend doing it too big. Save, and then of course the color, make sure that it's branded. You can put that in there as well. And this one, it is a drag to what color you want it to be. So just a heads up about that. And then you can also change the font color as well. Nice. So when you're thinking about what you want to say and enter your email to see your result, the reason why I point out that it's pre-populated is because we do recommend that you actually change what this says. If you click this little information, you just have to scroll over it. We do have a pro tip in here. I recommend making sure that you say what that quiz is they're on and the result for that quiz. You can see that in here. This is the point where I also usually recommend to people to say something like, I have like a freebie for you that you'll get directly in your email once you opt in, and just letting them know that you are going to be talking to them. I'm trying to make sure that I don't have some kind of a formula for this. Yes, so for this part, I recommend aligning with the problem that you are solving so they're happy to see their results. So pretty much just letting them know like, hey, you took my quiz. Thank you so much. I know you're going to do that, but I am going to give you what you are looking for. And I know that you have this problem that I presented, and I'm going to give you that solution. And like I said, if you do have some kind of a freebie, I think I've talked to a couple of people about this in the comments or on, some feedback posts. If you have content like an ebook that you have already created, this is a great place to let them know, hey, I'm going to send you something in that first email. Make sure you do put your email in here so you get it. And it's an ebook on the problem that you're solving. So that's a good tip for that. Definitely edit this and make sure that it does tailor to your quiz and to your business, and letting them know that they're going to get something out of this. Whew. Another good idea, so I wrote down some kind of freebies that you can put in here. It doesn't have to be an ebook. If you're just starting out, you might have not written one. Checklists work great in here. If you have like a checklist to get your website ready, or a checklist that you need to get your business up and started and things like that. If you have blog posts that are existing that would work in here, that works as well. More info on whatever this topic is, letting them know that they are just going to get value out of this. Okay, awesome. So if you guys have any questions on this, if you're watching it later, let me know. This is a pretty big part of the quiz, so I want to make sure that I do help you guys out with this part. It is a major drop-off point. So that's actually all of the information that I have on here for this specific page. Like I said, I recommend keeping your contact fields really simple as possible. They have form settings in here. If you want to be GDPR compliant, we offer a checkbox for you to include in your opt-in form. There's also a skip button, and I recommend testing that out. Also, editing this text to make sure that it is tailored to your business. You're letting them know they are going to get some kind of value from taking your quiz, and that they should enter their first name and email. Something that I'd like to invite you guys to do. Oh, hi, Andrea. Nice to see you too. Something that I'd like to invite everyone to do after they watch this video and they're working on their opt-in form is take a screenshot, put it in the comments, so that way we can take a look at it. I'd be happy to give feedback specifically on this part if you're open to it. Once you are done with this page, of course, you do want to make sure that you click Save and Continue. And from there, it's going to take you into your integrations. I am going to go more in depth into integrations tomorrow, so I don't want to say too much because there is a lot of information that goes with it. But I do want to just give you guys a preview of what this is going to look like. We do integrate with most of the major email marketing systems. What you'll want to have ready by this point is the login to connect to your email marketing platform, and then also your segments, which usually is your personality results, but it really depends on how you're doing that. But you want to make sure that those are built out before you get to this part. If you don't integrate with one of our integrations, a couple of options that you have is to connect through Zapier. If they're also on Zapier and you connect through a Zap, you always have the option to download your leads as a CSV file. So what will happen is when they opt in, they will just get sent to, their email will get sent to the analytics section inside of Interact, and then you can download all of those leads and manually upload them into your email marketing platform. Not the sexiest way to do it, but it's an option, worst case scenario. And then we also have webhooks, which is also an option. I haven't personally worked with webhooks, so I don't have information that's really helpful with it. However, if you guys do have questions on this, please still ask it, because I will try to get that info for you and let you know the best way to use it. Awesome. So from here, like I said, you want to have your login ready for your email marketing platform, and then also you want those segments to be built out. Once you're in this section, it will take you through the rest of the integration, and the opt-in form will connect straight to your email marketing platform. So how this whole process works, I have had some people ask if they really need to fill this part out and do an opt-in form, and the answer is yes. If you want people to connect to your email marketing platform and you want to see what their result is, what some of their answer choices were throughout the quiz, you do have to have this on because that's how we track who got what result and what answers they chose throughout the quiz. We don't send any emails from Interact. What we do is we send data to your email marketing platform. And what I mean by data is this information. And then if you connect any answer choices and your result also to your email marketing platform, then we'll tell them, based on how you set it up, which I'm going to show you tomorrow, based on how you set it up, we'll tell your email marketing platform, this is who this person is, whatever trigger needs to happen from here, then your email marketing platform will send the email from there. What you are looking for, and I'll say this again after we go through integrations tomorrow, is you want this checkbox to be on all three. So say you come back here and you see exactly what this looks like, it means that something is not set up all the way, or you need to finish setting it up. So those are just some tips and tricks inside of the builder for the opt-in form. If you guys have any questions, of course, let me know. And then also I'd like to invite you, if you have any questions about support on the video yesterday, also ask me about that. Tomorrow, like I said, we're going to be going over integrations, and I'm going to go ahead and actually walk you through this process. I like to use one that I already have connected, which is MailChimp. They all look really similar, and I'll mention this again. So you can still follow along if you do have it open or you're using a different email marketing platform. Awesome. So I have 10 minutes. If you guys have any last minute questions, I'm going to stay on for a couple more minutes just in case. At this point, also feel free to ask me any questions on the process so far. I would like to do a progress check like I mentioned earlier. I want to know if this information was helpful to you throughout this 14 days. What do you want to see? What are you hoping to see? If we do another training like this, what do you want me to cover and how do you want to see it? All of that will be super helpful for us in planning for the new year especially. All right, guys, so that's all I got for today. I'll keep an eye out for any questions that come through, and I'm going to go back through some questions that came in yesterday and respond to those. So I will see you tomorrow. Bye.